cool. I sometimes get jealous of the people that found it later because I feel like a lot of acting requires you to play yourself. Often have this crisis of like, who am I?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I think there's always like a bit of yourself in each role. Like, I mean,
Yeah, you are immediately thrown in and you start booking a lot of roles. And it's really like in any city, it just takes years. One thing I noticed right away was that there is just less comedy here. I actually think that there is a healthy amount of delusion that actors have to have.
you do.
I do.
What's up, guys? Welcome back with another episode of Breakthrough. If this is your first time tuning in, watching us on YouTube, on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever, make sure to follow us, make sure to subscribe, make sure to join us. But guys, without further ado, I have a very special guest today, someone I've been wanting to have on the pod for a couple of weeks now. She's amazing. She's done it all. Honestly, guys, I can't speak highly enough of her. Like, she's just so talented. Veronica Long, everybody.
Allie, that is so nice. Oh my God. That is
This is her
what a
first
nice
podcast too. I mean,
welcome.
like, we have to give her,
My first
just,
podcast.
we have to make like hell of a first big entrance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So-
Well, that really revved me up. Wow. Thank you.
I mean, you do have an audition after this, so we got to rev you up a little bit.
That's true. Yes. Give me confidence.
I love it. Alrighty. So, well, first of all, thanks for joining us
Yes.
on
thank
your
you. I'm
first
honored.
podcast ever,
Yes.
on the Breakthrough podcast. Now, again, a lot of people just sometimes ask, like, why is this called Breakthrough? Now, the reason why this is called Breakthrough is just because we often don't celebrate the small wins, and we often like associate breakthrough to like a big role, like a big swing in our career, where honestly, like a breakthrough could be something as small as just waking up in the morning, realizing that, like, hey, I can lose some weight, I can go to the gym, just like having that moment with yourself where you realize that you can do anything you want. I think that's like a breakthrough by itself, because we want to inspire people at home who are listening, who have goals, who have dreams, to go after theirs. And by listening to someone like Veronica, for example, who is, chasing her dreams, who's making things happen, well, it means that you can do it too. So this is basically what inspired the podcast in the first place.
I love that. You have to
So,
celebrate the small wins.
Such an honor to have you.
Yay.
Yeah. All right, amazing. So take us through your acting debut. I'm just a little intrigued as to how you got started. Maybe like tell us what you were doing before, like how did you get into acting? Yeah, just like walk us through the whole thing
Yeah.
up until
It all started.
let's roll the machine.
Yeah, so where did it all start? Actually, I do remember the moment that it started.
Yeah. Let's
Uh,
hear it.
yeah, so I went to go see a musical. I can't remember what musical it was. I think it was either Carousel or Carnival. Was that even a musical? I think it was Carousel.
Yeah.
And it was in Houston, Texas, at the Theater Under the Stars.
Yeah.
And I just remember seeing all these beautiful musical numbers and all the costumes and the people singing, and like the leading lady comes out and she's so beautiful in her dress, and there's the leading man and they have this romance, and then there's the evil witch, and I don't know. I just remember thinking,
How old were you at the time?
I think I was like 8 or 9 years old.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow.
I got hit early.
Yeah, no, I can tell.
I got
You're
hit.
hooked.
I was hooked. And then I had the good fortune of having a best friend at the time who was very, I don't know, she was very supportive, and also she wanted to do theater as well. And her name is Bianca. She's awesome. And at the time, she was going to go do some community theater and do a musical. And it was You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown. It's just like the Charlie Brown story.
Right.
And
one.
and she was like, "Do you want to come audition with me?" And I said yes, and that's kind of where it, I guess, all
So was
took
Snoopy
off.
in there, or was just Charlie Brown?
Yes, no, there was a Snoopy, there was a Charlie Brown. I think I
Sick.
was. You know how everyone has like those stories about
Yeah.
doing like early community
Right.
theater or whatever it is, or doing like
Yeah.
a school play, or doing. But a lot of times people are like, "I was the tree," or like, "I was the rock."
Yeah.
I was like the equivalent of that in like my very first musical. I
Yeah.
was a role that they had to write in because there
Mhm.
wasn't enough roles for all the kids that wanted to be part of this musical.
Oh my God.
Yeah. But
A role just built in for you. That's amazing.
yeah. I think it was Gwen.
Gwen?
I think I was Gwen. Yes, that's wild. Oh my God, the days of
That's
like
so sick.
everybody like put rollers in their hair. I don't know
Yeah.
why it was a thing to you had to have curly hair in musicals. I don't know why this was the
Oh,
thing, but there was like no, and I have pin straight hair.
really?
Yeah, isn't
Do
that
you get
crazy?
automatically just like turned down if you don't have curly hair? It's like,
No, no, no. I
I'm
just meant
sorry, your hair is way too straight for this. You gotta just
yeah,
go get them curled up and come back or something.
just for the performances, they had to be curl. I don't
Yeah.
know. It's
Oh,
and then everyone was teasing their hair as well. I don't know if you know what teasing is.
no. Is that like a hairdressing term?
It is a hairdressing term. It's
Okay.
like when you like back comb your hair essentially. So like you back comb
Oh,
it like this to basically tease it out and make it really big.
what is that called? Teasing?
Teasing.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think it was popular. I don't know when 880s, 80s,
Teasing.
70s, I
Okay. Do
want
you
to
guys know that? I don't know.
say. Yeah.
Maybe it's me. I mean, I don't know.
Is this relatable to anybody? But then I did community theater at a great local theater in Houston, Texas for a while called Hits.
Hmm.
Um, and then I went to a performing arts high school.
Yeah.
Um, that was
So that was all
amazing.
in Texas.
And this was all in Texas. Yeah, all in Texas.
Nice.
Yeah, and then I went to college for acting as well.
Nice.
Um,
So
and
you really like grew up like wanting to act.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Nice. Okay.
yeah. I'm one of those theater kids.
Yeah, I love it. No, it's amazing. I've had some guests that just, they had acting like come later on in their life for them. But
Hmm.
it's amazing to really have immersed yourself like in it like at a very young age. It's very nice.
It is. It is really cool. I sometimes get jealous of the people that found it later because I feel like a lot of acting requires you to play yourself.
True.
And if you've,
Never lived to be yourself.
yeah, yes, then it's kind of
You got
difficult.
into acting too early, but like you haven't lived enough of yourself to
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah. Well, I often have this crisis of like, who am I? Because
Right.
from the age of like 10,
Yeah.
I've played different roles in different musicals and different
Fair.
auditions and different, for such a long time
Yeah.
that sometimes I'm like, wait,
Yeah.
who am I?
Yeah. You're like, well, you have to play a high school kid. Like, wait, I never went to high school. Wait, what happened?
Yeah, yeah. It can be,
Oh, it's so fun.
it's definitely an identity crisis acting.
Yep. 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 I can relate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like doing different auditions every week.
Hmm.
Even if it's just one audition a week,
Yeah.
still that's, you're coming out of yourself. Well, hopefully the goal is to, for a lot of roles is to
Hmm.
bring a lot of yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
The-
anyway, it is an identity crisis.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, I think there's always like a bit of yourself in each role. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
yes, you're portraying like the character, you're honoring the script and all that, but at the end, I mean, there's just sprinkling a bit of yourself because at the end of the day, you are the actor. Like you're
Yeah.
acting the character. Like
That's right.
you know what I mean? Like it's just
And nothing is more interesting than
yeah,
you.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
But
fun.
it's
That's awesome.
really hard to do.
So that was all in Texas. Now, when did you come here? Like how did it all?
Yes. So then, so I went to the University of Southern California,
Hmm.
and I did a Bachelor of Fine Arts program
Hmm.
there. Did that for the 4 years. And
Yeah,
then I spent 2 more years and that was in Los Angeles.
yeah,
I think people know where USC is, but maybe not. It's in LA. And
yeah.
yeah, and then I spent 2 more years in
Hmm.
Los Angeles doing improv and other things.
Yeah,
And then I came here because a friend was like,
yeah,
there's work in Vancouver. They call it Hollywood North.
yeah.
So
That's what they call it.
yeah,
Did you
that's
like were you like worried about the whole like work permit thingy? Like
yes,
so like how did that
yes. How did that work?
factor into the equation?
Yes. Well, that was my first question. I think
Hmm.
I initially reached out to an agent, I think at Play or Characters here,
Yeah,
and just asked, will you represent me? And they said, no, you have to have a work permit.
yeah, right, of some sort. Yeah,
Yeah. So then So then I worked on getting a work permit, and I don't even know if the one that I got at the time is around still. It was
Hmm.
called IENA. It's the name of the program.
Okay.
And it was, I don't think it was even that expensive. I think total I spent less than $1,000. And I think I got the work
That's
permit.
amazing. Oh my God.
Yeah. And
It's
I,
so much more expensive. Like when we try to apply for one in the States,
yeah,
like
right.
5 times or 6 times that. Yeah.
And I think that the process of getting it was, it took, I think, under 6 months, I want to say. I don't think it took a long time at all. Um,
And they say Canadians are not nice,
I know.
and like they give us a
Canadians
hard
are
time,
nice.
Like we're so nice. Like for us, if we were to we get a visa or like a green card, it'll take 7 years in the States. You
Oof.
come here,
Y-
couple
Couple
months,
months. Yeah, that's right.
you're up on
Under
your
a
feet, you're good
thousand
to go.
dollars. Yeah. Come on in. I know. I know. Well, I could only do that for 2 years. And then I did a
Mm,
study permit for the third year while I was getting my
mhm.
permanent residency.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nice.
So, so now I have permanent residency.
Wow. Well,
Yay.
congratulations. That's
Thank
amazing.
you.
That's
It's
literally the
thank
best
you.
case scenario to be in. You're locked in
Yeah.
Canada, you're locked in the States. You don't have any issues with like, working anywhere.
No. Yeah, I know it's really nice.
I love it.
And I also have citizenship in Mexico, so we can go there.
Yeah. How was the Spanish? Is that
How was my Spanish?
yeah,
Um,
is it
I think it's good. I was about
yeah?
to say it in Spanish, and then I got nervous. Pero
Was that
pienso
yeah?
que
Is anybody
mi español es
yeah, for all this
bien, más o menos.
tomatoes? I love it. I love it.
Un
So
poco. No, I can speak fluent. What
yeah.
I say
Hmm.
is because they'll ask you sometimes on auditions
Right.
in your slate
Fluency level.
your fluency level, and I will say a silly percentage that I
Right.
feel at that moment because it
Right.
kind of fluctuates sometimes.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, what? Yeah, exactly. Instead of like saying like beginner level, I'll say like 40%.
that's
It sounds better than beginner.
It does.
You know what I
That's
mean?
true. That's true. I say 89, 90%.
Mm.
That's my kind of
Oh,
I'm usually bobbing
Aiden.
in
Okay,
that
well, my
area.
bad. That's way more than I what I had anticipated. I gave you 40. It's like, oh, 89, 90.
Maybe I'm giving myself too much credit. I don't know.
Oh my God, that's so cool.
Yeah.
So how did you find like the move here? Like, I mean, wasn't kind of like what you expected as far like as
Um,
the industry? Like, was it busy? Like, did you find it like a bit hard to settle in? Like, how was your
that's a good question. I'm trying to think back because it was like 7, 8 years ago. Okay, I think I imagined something more to the effect of you are immediately thrown in and you start booking a lot of roles.
yeah.
And it's really like in any city,
Hmm.
it just takes years to
Yeah.
for honestly for casting to get to know you
Yeah.
and for them to start trusting your work
Yeah.
in a good way in the sense of like
Yeah.
there's so many people here, it's very competitive,
Yeah.
and it and it's hard to start to get
Hmm.
on the Rolodex of actors that casting directors trust.
Yeah. I
You,
agree.
you know,
Yeah.
because there's already so many people on that Rolodex. And
Hmm.
so,
Yeah.
but I think immediately when I got here, um, I booked a Coca-Cola commercial, uh,
Coca-Cola commercial?
a Coca-Cola
Okay,
commercial,
cool.
which felt cool. It was like,
Yeah.
oh, this is pretty big.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Coca-Cola for sure. Yeah.
And it was within maybe the first, I want to say definitely 6 months of moving here. So it felt like a good sign. It was like,
Love it.
okay, we're booking
What
something.
a way to welcome you into Canada.
I
A
know.
Coca-Cola commercial. I was like, well, yeah. It's like, welcome. Don't
Yeah.
ever leave.
Yeah, truly. Yeah.
Uh,
So it felt like, okay, I've made the right move.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it must have given you like a huge confidence
A little
boost,
boost, yeah, for
right?
sure, for
Yeah.
sure. Booked my first, I think it was a national spot.
Yeah.
So
And you barely
yeah.
had like your papers at the time too, right? When you like, or did you have them?
Yeah, no, I had a work permit and
Okay, you had
everything
a
at
work
the
permit. Okay,
time.
cool,
Yeah, because I
cool.
think it was within like 4 or 5 months or something like that.
Okay,
Definitely within 6 months of.
that's actually really good. I mean,
Yeah.
considering that you didn't have like a PR or like a citizenship,
Full,
because usually
like,
like they usually prefer like people like that. So the fact that you
yeah.
actually booked something with just like a work permit, that's honestly very that's amazing.
Yeah.
So good for you.
Thank you.
Nice, 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 nice. So you've obviously like seen the industry because like you were raised in the States, so you've obviously like seen the what the American industry is like. Now, how does that compare to here, as far as like productions?
Hmm.
And do you find it like more? Is it similar, or like do you find it more bigger, quicker in the States? I don't know. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, how would I compare the two? It's a little bit tricky for me to compare the two just because when I moved here, I was truly, I had almost no credits.
Yeah.
And it was really just short films and it was really just some
Hmm.
indie films. So I didn't really get to see what LA specifically, because that's where I was living,
Hmm.
looked like in terms of like for example, I really didn't even have any friends that were booking a lot because we were all just starting out.
Right.
Um and the ones that were um I guess maybe I just didn't talk to, or that
Yeah.
there was a few of us coming out of USC, I remember, that had
Hmm.
um some jobs on big network shows, but
Yeah.
it was like one here, one there. Um, so honestly, it's kind of hard to compare the two, just for that reason, because
Yeah.
what I really know is what's in Vancouver.
Right.
Um, but well, yeah, I don't know. I would say one thing I noticed right away was
Hmm.
that there is just less comedy here.
Yeah.
And
That's yeah.
yeah,
Very big
there's
fact. We need
yeah.
more of that. We need
There's
more
not
of that.
none, but there's definitely less. And I
Yeah,
think
there's like a big shortage. Yeah.
coming from a comedy background that
Yeah.
I had in LA,
Yeah.
and I guess my life up until that point,
Yeah.
I definitely noticed.
Yes.
I was
Where's
like, where is
where's the comedy at?
yeah. I want to be part of it. Yeah, so
Mm,
it's been interesting because I felt like when you are in the early stages of your career and
mhm.
you're imagining what the credits you're going to have are going to look like.
Yeah.
It has been interesting because when I was
Mm,
in college, I definitely thought I was going, I mean, naively,
right.
you put your
Sitcom.
5-year plan, yeah, and you're like, I'm going to be the lead on a sitcom by the time I'm, in
Yeah.
3 years' time or whatever.
Fuck, I love that. I love how optimistic you were at such a young age.
I was
Fuck,
so
it's good.
optimistic. I was so optimistic. I actually think that there is a healthy amount of delusion that actors have to have.
You do.
I do.
Literally, we need to be delusional.
Yes, a little bit, because I think
It's
dreams.
healthy in that field. Yeah.
I think so too. I
Yeah.
think so too. I think it really helps during the tough times,
Yeah.
because if you have maybe I'm confusing delusion with just dreams, having
Dreams.
healthy dreams,
Yeah.
and just believing in yourself.
Yep.
But I do think if you have just this healthy amount of reaching for the stars
Hmm.
and just thinking, yeah, I'm going to make it,
Yeah.
then it'll it'll help you get up in the morning and do your auditions with a
True.
smile on your face, and
Yeah.
and do them to the best of your ability without getting jaded and saying like,
Yeah.
oh,
Oh, no, absolutely. And I think like more than anything, it'll help you not quit. It'll
yeah,
help you not give up, right? Because I think that's a very
a big
that's a common theme that we see a lot. A lot of people end up just quitting when they don't see results.
yeah.
And that's about anything in life, really. When you think about it, when you go to the gym, you're like, oh, my abs are not there. Like after a week, you're like, all right, this shit doesn't work.
Yeah, just keep up with
Let me
it.
go back to my
Just
McDonald's and my whatever.
yeah,
But
totally. Yeah,
it's just
just
like,
keep up
like
with it.
every good thing in life just takes time.
Yeah, it
Like
does. It really does. Just have
there's
patience.
yeah, I mean, it would have been nice to have like a magic pill to get shredded, or like a magic pill to be, the next Brad Pitt or something.
Yeah,
You
there's
know,
no magic pill.
it would be
Sadly.
it would be great. It would be great. It would be good. But yeah, sadly, no. It's just hard work and dedication
Yeah. And a little delusion
and a little delusion
is
and
helpful.
dream and all that stuff.
And dreams, yeah. Goals,
Um,
plans.
I want to talk about character development for a bit.
Okay.
So I was looking at your IMDb. Honestly, it's just very impressive. I feel like it's just, my goodness, what haven't you been on? Like, I mean, is there
That
anything
is
that is
so
missing on
nice.
here? Like, I mean, it's well,
Oh,
okay.
thank
So,
you. Hmm.
how do you build a character from the ground up? How do you make sure that the character doesn't like? How do you make sure that this is not Veronica? Because like sometimes we often like we read the breakdown. We're trying to like understand the character. Like, how do you know like the mannerisms of the guy, the voice, the accent? Like,
Mm.
is this like a shy, closed off character? Like, how do you build this off of just words and what you have
I
without like making it sound like because sometimes when you're reading the lines, like, okay, like, no, this is to me. I need, like, this needs to be the character. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think I do. I mean, yeah, I think just, I mean, it all comes back to the script. And if you're just reading the script,
Yeah.
and things will start to pop out to you like, oh, I think this is why they did that, or this, the script will explain everything that you need to know. And then I think, anything that's not explained in the script, it is art. Like you can just choose to make a
Yeah.
character a certain way.
Yeah. True.
Um, you know what I mean? Um, just creatively, if you're like, I think that I want to, I was gonna say have a British accent for a role. But usually they'll tell you kind of what accent
They
in the
will. They will.
breakdown.
Yeah.
They'll
Yeah. Yeah.
and especially if they want a specific accent too, they'll kind of. But but I think it just comes down to the script and just
Mhm.
pull and just with your little magnifying glass, just pulling apart, or
Right. The
you know,
cues, right? Yeah.
yeah, just reading off the page.
Hmm.
What is the script telling me that this character is,
Yeah.
and just going through it, sifting through it with a fine tooth comb. I think
Fine.
that's right.
Yeah. Yeah. Sounds about right.
Yeah, to decipher all that information.
Yes, absolutely. Now, so once you've done that, do you like kind of try different versions of the character? Do you
I
feel like, do
used
you put
to.
something on, you're like, nah, I feel like this costume isn't quite right. Do you try different iterations, I guess, of the thing before you
I
actually land on the
on
one that you want to put on tape and just send out?
You know what? I used to, like, if I'm being completely honest,
Hmm.
I used to do a lot of that because it was sometimes difficult for me to, because I have such a big Rolodex because I came from theater,
Yep.
and you get this huge Rolodex of all these different wigs that you could put on the character.
Yep.
And deciding on one was actually sometimes difficult.
Right.
And that's when you do again have to just look at the script and say, well, this wig wouldn't make sense because of
Right.
this, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But I think something I have been
Hmm.
trying to do more recently
Hmm.
is just see how much of myself can I put into this role,
True.
because it is true that
Yeah.
we have lived full lives.
Hmm.
We have all of our thoughts. We have all of our own opinions.
Hmm.
And if we can inject all of that into a character, it's gonna be interesting.
Yes. Yeah. If anything, I mean, it might not get you the job, but it'll for sure get their attention, if anything,
Yeah.
right? That's kind of
Yeah.
the goal really is to get
Yeah.
them excited about your performance. So hopefully they'll remember you,
That's right. That's
you
right.
know,
That's right. And
and
the more
you're,
the more you can tell them about who this person is,
yeah,
the better, the more interested they're going to be. The
I
more
agree.
interested we are when we watch something, we're like, "Oh, they did that subtle thing, or they had that subtle thought, they had that subtle opinion.
Yeah.
Now I know more about this person."
Yes.
And
You want to, yeah, you want to be like, hey, oh, I like that moment in the tape. Let's get them in. Like, I want to see what this moment was about. You
yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. I
Yeah.
used to have a coach actually that would say that it just takes, what was it, one bookable moment. You just
Yes.
have to have one bookable moment in there. I think
Yeah.
it was Jeb that said that.
Jeb.
Jeb Beach. Yeah. Love Jeb.
Nice. Jeb. Amazing
Um
guy. Yeah.
Wait, were we in his
Well,
class
we
together?
met in
Over
Jill Morrison's class at
Yes.
Jeb Beach. Yes.
Yes, that's
Your
right.
Veronica was reading for me.
Yes, that's right.
She was my reader, and I
Love
was
Jill so much.
I'm gonna get Jill actually at some point.
You have to.
It's
She
just
is the funniest.
I know.
Oh my gosh.
Jill is
Her-
like single-handedly the funniest person I've ever seen.
Dude,
Like I'm not saying this lightly. Like she's so funny. I feel like it's just like it's in her DNA. It's just
it is.
she speaks and you're like
And you can't help
anything
but
she
laugh.
does is just fucking funny. Like,
That's
I don't know. It's
exactly
just
right.
like it's so effortless for her.
Coming to her classes was the most fun. You learn so much
I know.
and you
Yeah.
laugh just as much. It's
Oh my goodness. It's just and also like she has a very good good eye like of like really she looks at a comedy script and she'll know exactly what you need to do, be like, oh, you know what? Like this is good, but just like try adding a little bit of that and then all of a sudden everybody's laughing in class. And
Yeah.
it's just like I don't know, it just like changes the whole scene
Yeah.
like 180 degree, which is
And she can find jokes that you never thought were on the page.
literally, yeah.
She's like, "Oh, there's a joke there. There's a joke there. There's a joke there." And I'm
She
like,
literally
"Oh my God."
pinpoints. You missed that one.
Yeah. You do feel kind of
That
like
break that you thought was
"Ooh, I guess
nothing.
I
No,
missed-"
that's the whole punchline of the scene. Like,
Yeah, right, exactly. And I'm like, you missed the punchline.
yeah, I love it. I
No,
love
she's
it.
the best.
She's so good. Um, so just to go back to character development real quick
Yeah.
before we move on to the next question.
Yep.
Do you think it's correct? Again, I have like mixed reviews about this because I do it and I feel like it's okay, but I don't know, it's kind of like a gray area. Do you think it's correct to send multiple takes? You know what I mean? Like instead of like, I know sometimes they specify it in the breakdown, be like, hey, can you send us 2, 3 takes? First take, play it like this. Second take, like this.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
they don't
Sometimes
say
they do.
anything, do you think it's okay to send, still send 2 takes, playing 2 different characters? Be like, well, I mean, I don't know what you want. I'll just give
Yeah.
you everything. I'll
Yeah.
give you that and that, so you have 2 options to pick from. Do you think this is okay? Or
You know, this is just my opinion.
right?
This is just my opinion.
Mhm.
Somebody else will tell you something different.
Mhm.
But I think just send one. I think
One,
because I think it shows confidence
right?
that you're like, this is what I want to send you. This is what I want to show you.
This is what I worked on, and this is
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. Um, but also I can also see it the other way too. If the character is not like you
Mhm.
and it's kind of something,
Mhm.
comedy really comes to mind because
Mhm.
with comedy there's there's a lot of wigs
Yeah,
that you
yeah,
could put on.
yeah.
And it's tempting also as an
It really
actor
is. Yeah.
creatively to do that.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
well, I think this could go a lot of ways. I kind
Yeah.
of want to, even for myself, just
Yeah.
explore it.
Yeah. I feel
But
like, I mean, the best way to like really compare this is just like if you go to buy a lottery ticket. I mean, if you have the chance to get 2, like why would you have your name twice in the pot
yeah, I
instead of
know.
one? You know what I mean? I was like,
That's a good, yeah, analogy.
that's kind of the analogy. Be like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna send 2 takes. I don't know what they want, but if they don't like the first take, well, I have the second one. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
like,
what
there's two
about
takes.
this?
But also, I mean, should we do that if they don't explicitly say it? It's kind of, um, yeah.
I think it's up to it's gonna vary depending on the role and depending on the actor.
I think what's correct, in my opinion, if it depends on the role. If it's like a one-liner, I think who cares? Just send 2 takes. Like, I mean,
If it's a one-liner, actually, yeah, if
you
it's
know
a
what? You know,
one-liner,
like
for
couple
sure.
lines, 1, 2, 3 lines. I mean, it's not gonna take you super long to tape this, so might as well send 2 takes. But
Yes.
obviously, like if you have like 15 pages, I don't think they're gonna be sitting through 2 tapes. There's
No,
no chance.
no,
So
exactly.
I guess it depends on the weight of the role.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Yeah, especially if it's a
Mhm.
if it's an under 5 line role. I mean,
I think it's worth it. Yeah.
I think so too, and it's so quick too.
Yeah.
They have time to watch it.
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah, they might have time to watch it. The only thing I was gonna say is that I know it just annoys some casting directors.
Mm,
I don't know which ones, but because I can't remember.
right.
It's been a while since I have
Yeah.
had that information of who likes what.
Yeah.
But I do remember there was somebody maybe who was a
Right.
little bit annoyed by it. But
Yeah.
I, oops. But so just for that reason,
Mm,
but
yeah.
then also
Yeah.
for sure for like one-line roles,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think it's okay because
I think so too.
also it it sh- it is so short, and then it gives them an opportunity to see like, oh, maybe, for example, if it's a receptionist, like
Yeah.
maybe you give the version of, I'm just doing here to do my job, ma'am,
Right.
whatever,
Right. The very
very just doing their job.
yeah,
And
to the
then
point one. Yeah.
yeah, and then maybe there's another one that's
Friendlier or
just
whatever.
friendlier, or
Yeah.
yeah, exactly, or has some more, I don't know, story behind it that we can
Yeah.
see
Yeah.
there,
Yeah.
this person has a life that they're
Yeah.
living, and
Hundred
maybe it's
percent.
affecting
And I think
what's
just
happening.
to add on what you said, sometimes it does annoy like certain industry people. But I feel like also, would that be a deal? Like, considering your first take is so strong, they're like,
Yeah.
yo, this is a take. The fact that you send a second tape, is that a deal breaker for them to be like, oh no, you know what? He sent 2 takes.
That's
The first
it.
take is amazing, but he
He
sent two
sent two
takes.
takes.
He sent 2 takes. No,
Done.
we can't get him.
Blacklisted.
Like straight up, we can't get him. It's a felony.
That would never.
You
No,
know,
there's
I
no
just can't see
way.
it, right?
No, you're
So
right. No, you're totally right. I think I don't know. I guess maybe it truly doesn't
yeah,
annoy anyone. I don't know. I can't say because I'm not a casting director.
yeah, no, that's fair.
I do I do sometimes
Yeah,
try to imagine
hmm,
their life and
yeah,
try to see things from their point of view,
yeah,
because it is a business and we're trying to do what, not that there are bosses, but
hmm,
trying to do what the client wants. Of course,
Yeah.
we want to be invested in what they want.
Yeah.
So I sometimes just try to think about things from their point of view.
So obviously there's like a lot of different ways to that actors use, like, to prepare the script, to do all everything on the script, the role and all that. What
Script
do you think?
analysis and
Yeah,
everything.
script analysis. Yeah, I'm looking for the word. So what do you have like a system for yourself that works for you? Do you kind of just like take a bit of every acting coach you've had on that? Or do you have like something that works for you?
That I really rely on.
Hmm.
I do have a checklist
Nice.
that I just have on my computer, and I kind of just go through it.
Yeah.
And it's the usual things of, what does my character want? What is their overall objective? What is their scene objective?
Yeah.
What is my relationship to the other person?
Hmm.
What obstacles am I up against?
Hmm.
What does the other person want? Because every scene is essentially a fight.
It is.
It is essentially
There's
a
always a
fight.
conflict
It's just
somewhere.
exactly. It might start off with pleasantries, but it
Right.
always comes to a
Underneath, there's always
head.
something. Yeah.
Yeah. And they always want something different. Otherwise it wouldn't be interesting.
Hmm.
So I have, I have my checklist that I go through.
Nice.
Yeah. But
And
it is an amalgamation for sure
yeah.
of all the coaches I've had.
Yeah.
Yeah, I even have quote. I'm a big quote person,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
if somebody
Yeah.
says something
Yeah.
that really resonates with me,
Yeah.
which happens often, like I don't
Yeah.
know if you saw me in Jill's class, but I would
Yeah.
write down every freaking thing
You know
that
what
she
I
said.
noticed? Okay, I don't. It's just what I noticed so far. I find like women are so like on the paper. They love it.
We do.
They like, again, like, not to say anything. Like, I'm not trying to be sexist or anything, but I feel like women, they're very like, like they like to take notes. They like to put anything. I see less of that
With guys?
with guys. Yeah,
Huh.
I don't know. I feel like they're just maybe more sure of themselves, and it's all in my head. The goal
Yeah.
is in there. My tactics are preloaded. Like
Well, here's kind of the irony of it, is that
yeah,
I never read what I wrote.
yeah,
So sometimes
yeah,
I do,
yeah,
like but very rarely. So
yeah,
that's kind of the irony of it.
yeah,
It's
yeah. I,
like
I did notice that lately. I was like, oh, okay.
somehow
Yeah.
I think it just has to do with what helps us get it into our heads, and
True.
sometimes just writing it,
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I mean, I
instead
love
of
writing. I feel like there's like a fine line of like writing. Like, I don't like to have my script just full of words where I can't even read it anymore. I think that's a bit too much, but I like to have like, pointers and like little arrows and stuff like that, just to remind
yeah,
myself of the important moments.
totally.
And sometimes even like some lines where I'm like, oh, okay, like this is what I'm going for in this line, just so I don't forget it. I can always just like, you know,
Totally.
um,
Or if you're reading through it and you have a good idea that you think, oh, maybe I'll forget this.
exactly, just put it down.
Yeah.
Agree. Now, do you do like this? So you have this checklist that works for you, and you just do that for. Do you do this for everything, for all the auditions, even the bookings, the scenes? Do you go through this every time for like no matter what, no matter how small the role is, or is it just more like for the bigger ones, I guess?
No, for everything. It could be one line,
Nice.
and for bookings as well.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, for all of it. I go through that checklist for all of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't used to, but I
Hmm.
think in the past couple or few years
Yeah.
I have.
Yeah.
And it also is just, for me, I love lists.
Yeah.
So it's easy just to go,
It
okay,
is.
this,
Yeah.
okay, this. Yeah.
I love it. It
Yeah.
has like a nice flow to it too. So
Yeah.
you give yourself like a bit of a structure for the
Yeah.
scene where you're like, okay, uh, this is what my goal is. These are the things these are my intentions. My obstacles are like this, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gives some flavor for sure.
So some of it, I will say, sometimes some scripts feel really intuitive,
Hmm.
as in, you've done this work so much, so often,
Yeah.
that it starts to become like you don't have to write it down.
Yeah.
Um, Again, I'm a writing person, so I do
Yeah.
like to write things down.
Yeah.
But sometimes the list is just kind of in your head, and
Yeah.
you kind of sort it out as you're
Yeah.
looking through it. And also, there is something to be said for um sometimes not preparing. I never want to say that. I never want to say not preparing.
Hmm.
But if you've done that intuitive work,
Mhm.
um, I'm saying intuitive work. I don't know if I'm like saying the right like way that I want to put it. But if you've done the work in your head,
Yeah.
not written it down,
Mhm.
and then sometimes there is that spontaneity
Mhm.
and that juiciness, and
Yeah.
you feel more creatively free
Yeah.
sometimes when you don't plan it out too much
Mhm.
and don't overthink it.
Yeah.
There is something to that.
I agree.
So sometimes what I like to do
Yeah.
for auditions
Mhm.
specifically is to uh, not write it down,
Yeah.
just go through my list in my head,
Mhm.
and then get with a reader
Yeah.
and just put it on tape right away.
Oh,
What usually ends up happening, because
right.
I'm a perfectionist,
Right.
is that then I'll watch it back and then I'll be like, okay, I can
You
correct that, I can correct that, I can correct not
you
correct. That
start
sounds,
being very like technical.
yeah, you do get
Yeah.
technical,
Yeah.
but then I always end up
Yeah.
like somehow writing on the
I love it.
list.
Yeah. Just back to the roots, man. Like it's just
Yeah, back to the roots. Back to the
back to what
roots.
works.
Because I think sorry, I'm cutting you off.
No, no, no.
But I was teaching acting for a little bit, and I would tell this to my students, acting is like juggling in a lot of ways,
Mhm.
but it's like juggling 100 balls at a time.
Wow, that's a lot of balls. Yeah.
And sometimes you drop some. And that's
Mhm.
what coaches are for. They're there to say, oh, hey, by the way, I think we missed your scene objective here. Or I
Yeah.
think that we missed that, we missed that, the environment that you're in. You would be quieter because
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
a private conversation
Yeah.
that you're having in a public place or whatever it is.
True.
But sometimes that's the beauty of self-taping, is that you can watch back your tape and see what balls you dropped and
Yep.
then
That's true. Yeah.
throw them back in.
Just keep juggling and until you find the perfect combination, I guess.
Yeah.
I want to get like speaking of technical because I know we were talking about that. Uh, has it occurred with you where sometimes you have the scene and you have a specific line, maybe it's like a timepiece or something, but you're just not getting the line. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? I hate when that happens
Mm-hmm.
because I would like Google it. I'm like, why is he saying this line? Like it's not something you would say as Ali, as Veronica, not something
Yeah.
you would say. It's not in your vocabulary,
Yeah.
right? But sometimes
Mm.
it does happen where you're like, what does that mean? Like what? Like, but also like if you don't know why the character's saying the line, you can't play it.
Yeah.
You can't sell it.
Yeah.
So how do you handle that?
Look at it. Just look at it. Keep looking at it
Figure
until
something out. Yeah.
yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
I wish there was a more. I wish there was like, you take this little pill.
Yes. I
You
was like,
just
oh well. I mean, you take the first word, and then you try.
yeah, totally. And then you look at it backwards.
Right. Yeah.
And then no, so but it's true, yeah, sometimes
Yeah, looking at it, I guess just like trying to, I guess like sometimes when this happens with me is I have to find I have to convince myself of a reason as to when would I say this.
hmm.
I guess that's what I would do because like sometimes if I'm not understanding why is this line there, obviously I don't want to like say the line in a way that it doesn't show the intention behind it, like
Mm-hmm.
it's said wrong or like, oh, like that was weird, like why is this line being said this way, but
Hmm.
it's maybe because the actor's not understanding why is it there.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess like giving some sort of a reason as to like like if also like the context too, you know what I mean, like if you just like read the scene,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you can maybe try to estimate like what this
Mm-hmm.
means, you know what I mean,
Mm-hmm.
like based on what's happening in the scene. I mean, it's gonna be what it means, right? Like this, it has to be this, right? Like it's just if you look
Hmm.
at the flow of the scene, like what else could it be?
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Okay, now I do have a couple of magic pills.
All
Um,
right, let's see. There we go. We
here
open
we
the
go.
door. It just
We
sticks
open the
on.
door. The first thing I was gonna say is actually just asking why. Just keep asking why.
Mhm.
Okay. Like they say, uh, I've never been to Venice Beach. Let's say that's the line.
Right.
Ask, why are they saying that?
Mhm.
And then maybe the reason is because they're uh, trying to get the other person to go to Venice Beach with them.
Oh,
And they're trying to seduce them.
interesting. Yeah.
And then ask why,
Mhm.
because they're trying to get them to love them. Because they're, yeah, I was just say trying to.
There's always like why until you pretty much. I
That's
guess
it.
you can always go why deeper, deeper, deeper
You can
until
always go why deeper,
yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
Um, and then the other thing I was going to say is that sometimes I will find that with certain lines, um, some lines are tricky
Hmm.
and they're not meant to be tricky. Nothing in
Yeah.
scripts is ever meant to be
Right.
like, we're going to trick the actors with this. Never, 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 never. Like that. No. Uh,
Let's give him a hard time.
yeah,
You know
let's
what I
give
mean?
them a
It's
hard
like,
time here.
no, he's not gonna get away with this.
But certain things can appear like uh, they're trying to trip up the actors in that, for example, I think a lot of people get tripped up with exclamation points. I know I used to.
Oh yeah.
Because if there's an exclamation point, you think that you have to say it like this.
Yes, like
Or if it's in all caps, you think you have to say it like that.
yeah, it's
Um,
it's very confusing. Honestly,
it,
another thing about it, or the the three dots. What are that called?
the ellipses.
The ellipses.
But what they are is just the writer trying to tell the
Yeah,
actor
yeah,
that
yeah.
there's something happening here.
Hmm.
And so they all have their own meanings. So
Hmm.
the all caps is just
Hmm.
that this is important to this person,
Yeah,
and it actually could be a freaking whisper, but they're just
right.
trying to make sure that the other person, that this lands
It's a
on the other
stressed word.
person.
Yeah,
It's stressed.
yeah.
Um,
Hmm.
Same thing with exclamation points.
Yeah.
And then the ellipses is that
Hmm.
you're either trailing off, or you're waiting for the other person to kind of catch your drift.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It
Um,
could be either. Yeah, it's just.
yeah. Um, and so you just have to ask why in those moments. Like,
Hmm.
why did the writer put this in? What are they trying to communicate to the actor?
Yeah, yeah.
If there's something that looks kind of
I
tricky that
agree.
way.
I think this is kind of like, one of the few moments where I wish we could still go in the room because you can ask these questions. This is a a valid question to ask. But like, hey, like, why is this being said? Just like, I mean,
I know what
you
you
know what I mean?
mean. Yeah.
I feel like sometimes this is kind of what I miss from the going the actual audition room, but also
Yeah.
like, like you also get to do so many takes
Yeah.
in self tape,
I know.
which is nice.
Which is a big pro. Yeah.
It is, but also like, I mean, at the end of the day, like, it's just you're gonna go on set and
And they're going to tell you.
yeah, so
Also,
yeah.
also the other thing is too, with those tricky lines, if there is a line that's tripping you up, um,
Hmm.
don't overthink it in the sense that like it trips up your whole audition,
Yeah,
because it's not. I was gonna say it's not that important. It's not that it's not important, but just do your best.
yeah,
Do your best. Try to figure out
yeah,
why they're saying what they're saying, um, and
yeah,
then truly, like I booked tape. I booked jobs where I trip up in a take, or
yeah,
like I'll lose the line and have to look down,
yeah,
and then you come back up and you go right back into
right,
it.
yeah.
But it's like if the casting director and the director
Hmm.
see enough of the character,
Yeah,
they know that they can direct you
on
on
stage,
this
yeah, yeah. If the
line.
overall performance is good, but it's just that one line you played it wrong, or you didn't
Understand what they
right.
were going
Yeah, I don't
for.
think it's gonna like break.
No,
Yeah, it's just,
no.
like, I think if the overall thing is good, they're probably still gonna take it. Be like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, this you missed that. That's what this line means. Oh, okay, and
Oh,
then
okay.
and then
Yeah.
you adjust it.
Yep. That's it.
Um, love it, love it.
I love that it took us a while to get to that, but but that's it. Just don't overthink
I
it,
love
and
it.
they'll
I
direct
love
you
it.
on set. Yeah.
So cool. I want to go to a very to something that we all face. I mean, I think even today, like, everyone can relate to this. How do you just lock in the scene? Get out of your head. You're in the zone. You're not thinking. You're not anticipating. You're not waiting for your cue. You just stare. You like, because it's hard. You know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
sometimes you're like, it's hard sometimes. Like, I mean, I don't know. I'm sure it happened with you where you caught yourself like thinking about something else,
Hmm.
waiting for the line. You know what I mean? Like, it's so
Hmm.
easy to get so technical with the thing. So how do you get out of your head where you're not like thinking? Like, you're literally just
Hmm.
like there. You're present. You're not
Hmm.
anticipating anything. You're breathing. I-
Hmm.
It's still things that we struggle with even today, right? So how do you?
Yeah.
What works for you when it comes to that?
I think relaxing,
Hmm.
just kind of, yeah, taking some deep breaths.
Yeah,
And
before the scene, or like during
yeah,
the yeah.
well, before the scene,
Hmm.
and then remembering that you should be breathing during the scene.
True. Yeah,
Um, because sometimes you do forget to breathe.
I agree.
Uh,
It happens with me sometimes. I'm holding my breath, and I'm just like,
yeah,
was I?
yeah. What's that?
Sometimes we don't even know.
No, truly.
You know what I mean? This is how frustrating it is. It's like, you're like, some people can tell because like they're watching this from like another lens, and you're like,
Yeah.
I was holding my breath. Interesting.
They can see
They
it from a
pinpoint.
bird's eye view.
Yeah.
But I think also just making sure that you're putting everything on the other person
Hmm.
and remembering what you want in
Yeah.
the scene is a big one for that, because
Yep.
you always want something from the other person.
True.
And so at every moment is like a moment to actually check in and see, am I getting this from the other person?
Hmm.
And if not, how do I adjust?
Yeah.
It's a constant checking in and readjusting.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, this is kind of like what, the goal of the scene, and you're always like trying to go after your goal, and there's obstacles, there's things you're not getting it, you're trying something different, you're not getting it,
Hmm.
you're trying something else, oh, you almost there, it's not quite there, and then you know what I mean, and the final thing you try, maybe you do get it, or you don't, and you lose, right? So,
Yeah.
that's how life goes. But
That's just how life goes. Uh, yeah, but
love it.
um, just keep checking in with the other person, because
Yeah.
you're
Hmm.
because everything that you're doing depends on
Yeah.
them.
I think I also like saw some people say, I think either I read this or someone said it, but just like really like looking at the other
Just
person, just
look.
like staying like with them in the eyes and just like really listening,
Yeah.
taking in what they say. Don't look anywhere, look at their eyes, like find their eyes, just
Yeah.
listen, and yeah, just allow yourself to like really take in everything they say.
Yeah.
I mean, it's easier said than done, but I mean, it may seem easy just like saying it like this, but it's a lot harder in the moment, like because your instinct want to like go the first circle or second or third and do this that, and like no, you stay present, find your scene partner.
Hmm.
It's always a good place to be, is in the eyes of your scene partner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just look at them.
Yeah.
That's not bad advice.
Yeah. No, love it. So I do want to ask you this. You've obviously like started in LA. When do you think is the right time to get LA representation? Like, do you have a manager? I think you.
I have agents. I have an
Okay.
agent in Vancouver, and then I have agents
In
in
the States.
LA. Yeah.
Okay. So I guess like, well, first of all, I guess, do we need an Asian in the States
Yes.
at some point?
100%.
Okay. So, and a manager, or like either?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Oh gosh, I actually also want to ask this question, so I'm the wrong person to ask
Okay.
actually about this.
That's fine. Fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough.
That's my answer.
I
I
wasn't sure because like I feel like I'm a very analytical person, and sometimes when I see people, I'm like, okay, these guys, all the guys that have been on a show, they've been like a series reg, like some sort of like a big role that they had on the show. They always have like, I mean, 80% of them have a manager.
hmm
So I'm like, okay, that tells me something.
hmm
So I'm
and
like,
not an agent, or also an agent.
like it's usually what I see is like 90% of the time is like a manager,
Okay.
not an agent. Now, I
Huh.
feel like you want to get an agent if you want to go for these bigger roles, like the lead roles, like 1, 2, 3
Call sheets.
yeah, on the
Yeah.
cast, yeah,
Yeah.
because all these guys go to the LA, all the actors like down in LA, and
Mm.
I feel like as I mean, this is just me speculating, but I feel like as a manager, we like it'll help us like kind of like get bigger roles, like like
Hmm.
series reg and something big. But I don't think I feel like you do need an agent if you want to go up for like lead roles like 1, 2, 3. I think that because like that's what when I look, I'm a very analytical person. When I look at
Yeah.
the other IMDb, I'm like, this is the pattern that I notice.
Hmm. Hmm.
I'm like, okay, interesting. Yeah. So like when you look at the lead roles on Wild Cards,
Hmm.
you were on that, or
Hmm.
like Alert, whatever. I'm like, okay, like they all have like
They all
cast
have
one, two,
managers.
three. They all have LA
Managers.
representation. But if someone is in Canada, like a Canadian actor, and they have like a big role on the show, like they very likely have like a manager on the IMDb. So
Hmm.
yeah,
I don't know, because I honestly, I'm so confused as to the difference between an agent and a manager.
yeah,
I from what I've heard, people kind of use managers in different ways. Agents is very like, they submit you for the roles, and then they
yeah, yeah,
facilitate the booking.
yeah,
But with managers, it's a little bit more unclear, and I guess people have told me that that they do different things.
Yeah.
Some people say, oh, they kind of like manage my whole career in terms of
Yeah.
if you have more than just acting, if you also have a
Yeah.
singing career, a dancing career,
Yeah.
a sports career, news career, whatever it is,
Yeah.
then they kind of help to manage everything, and also manage the communication between your publicist, your lawyer, your
Yeah.
agent, everything. But then I've also heard that some managers are just like an agent,
They
and
submit as well.
but one thing that I have
Hmm.
heard uh, a lot is that, or the common thread
Hmm.
is that managers are just a little bit more personal
Hmm.
and treat you a little bit more personally, like, take your calls more often or go out to coffee with you, get to know you a little bit more.
Yeah.
In my opinion, that seems like it would make for a better agent, just because,
Yeah.
if you get to know somebody,
Hmm.
you want to help them,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
as opposed to there's a little bit of distance when
Yeah.
there's an agent who,
Hmm.
is kind of just distant from you and doesn't get to know you as much. Then
Hmm.
my instinct tells me they're
Yeah.
not going to work as hard for you because
Yeah.
they don't know you.
Yeah.
So my instinct tells me that
Hmm.
having a manager would be great,
Hmm.
if you find one that works like an agent
Yeah.
but is really personable.
Yeah.
But also,
Hmm.
um, and also if you have other things to manage.
Right.
I don't. I just acting.
Yeah.
But then that's helpful to have a manager.
Hmm. I didn't know that. That's actually very interesting.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then also, sorry, I lost my train of thought there a little bit. But if you have an agent,
Hmm.
this is it. If you have an agent who
Hmm.
is personable like a
Yeah.
manager,
Hmm.
but calls himself an agent,
Yeah.
then what's the need for a manager? So
Yeah.
I don't know. It's, oh my
It's
gosh,
very confusing. I guess
yeah, it's
like
very
it's just
confusing.
I mean there's only one way to know. It's like, like submit for managers and just have a chat with them, be like,
That's
okay,
right.
like what are you gonna do for me?
No, truly, truly. I think we get
What like
so scared, and
I mean,
I
like, you don't want to sound rude and say it like that, but like at
no,
the end,
no, but I
that's kind
think,
of the bottom line. Like,
well, truly, and I think as actors, I don't know why, even though a CEO in any other industry would be
yeah,
taking meetings
right,
and saying, so what's the bottom line here? What are
mhm,
you going to do for me? What am I going to do for you?
right,
How are we going to make money together?
true, true, no, 100%.
And that's what it comes down to, is making money
Yeah,
together.
yeah. At the
Uh,
end of the day, yeah, it
y-
is a business. I mean,
it is
show
a
business.
business.
Yeah,
That's exactly right. Like,
yeah, yeah,
so, but we're so scared to ask these
yeah,
questions, and we're so scared to be that direct and that
yeah,
forward. But it's
yeah. 100%, 100%. I mean,
my dream one day
yeah,
would be to, one, get the balls
yeah,
to speak that way,
yeah,
to my representation,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
just to speak clearly and, like, direct,
Oh my
and not
gosh.
have a, shame about it or something.
Yeah, yeah,
And then also to meet an agent who is the same way and who in fact encourages that kind
yeah,
of
yeah, yeah.
communication.
Love it, love it. Well, you beat me to it because that's
Oh,
the next question, which is dreams. So, I mean, I'm hearing you talk about, like, you started in LA, you came here, you're doing all these beautiful things. So, what is the end goal? I mean, where is this all heading? I want
what
to
is
know,
the
like,
end
what's
goal? What
the
are my
paint us a
dreams?
picture of an
Uh,
ideal scenario where Veronica is like, okay, we're there. What's
uh,
there? What
what
is it?
is there?
Yeah.
It's so funny because it's changed.
Hmm.
It's changed, but I think, I mean, oh gosh, it's so like, talk about your dreams.
Yes, I love it. Let's hear it.
But yeah, I mean, to be the lead on a sitcom like
Yes,
Friends would
I love the
be
optimism.
awesome.
Fuck yeah.
Or like a lead, a part of the ensemble, or or the lead of a show like The Office, or
Oh
I
my
guess
God,
I'm
that'd be
just
amazing.
naming sitcoms now.
I can see it too. I can see it too. I think it's like a
Well,
matter of
you
time.
knew me and my vote for Janet
Mm.
days.
I almost forgot about that, guys. Okay. Oh, how did I forget about this? What happened with that? I forgot about. Oh my God.
I know, I forgot about it too until just this moment.
Veronica has a show that she produced, she acted in, she directed too,
Yeah.
everything. Where she played a president.
Co-wrote. I don't know. I co-wrote it.
Co-wrote.
Yes,
Were you
with my partner.
okay?
Mhm.
Were you running for presidency? What were you doing? I forgot.
Yes.
I blanked. I forgot.
Oh my
It was a
god.
political-ish show.
No, it was.
Okay.
Yeah, no, political-ish is definitely the way to put it. I kind of call it like a low budget Veep. Um
I love
because
it.
it is a mockumentary
Nice.
like The Office or like Veep.
Yeah.
And it's yeah, but this woman who has no business running for president
Yes.
in that she has zero knowledge,
Zero
zero
credibility.
credibility, zero money,
Right.
and zero political savvy is running for president.
So good. Yeah.
And
I
it's
actually watched it.
grassroots as fuck.
I watched the first episodes and I was like, that's funny. I remember like you
Yeah.
like calling
Yeah.
people. I was like, excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir. Nobody's listening.
Nobody's listening.
Nobody cares.
Nobody
Go
cares.
mind your own business, lady.
But she thinks they are listening.
Yeah.
Like I think there was, I don't know if we put this in an episode, but there was like some part it was written in that she
Yeah.
looks at her Instagram,
Yeah.
and you know how it says how many followers you have.
Yeah.
Well, she looks at it and thinks that that's
Mhm.
like times 1,000.
Yeah.
So she looks at it and she has like
Mhm.
100 followers,
Yeah.
and she thinks that that means like 10,000 followers, and she's like, I'm famous.
She overshot the number.
She's just an idiot.
I remember like what was it, our episode where we were shooting this and you were there like stopping people on while they're walking, and one of the guys says like hey, I'll be back, and you're like, well, you heard him, he's gonna be back, like
He'll be back.
I'll be back.
Looking forward to it. Oh my
That's
gosh, that
so
was
funny.
so funny.
That was so funny.
That was it was crazy to film because it was so guerrilla style that we filmed it. Like you
Yeah.
remember, we filmed
Yeah.
it. So Allie's in one of my
Yeah.
episodes. Yeah. I
Spoiler alert, I do ignore her too in the
That's
in the
right.
thing.
And you ignored me very well. Yeah, we shot it super guerrilla style, and we literally shot it on my phone.
Wow.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
DP, yeah,
Yeah.
shot it on my
I
phone.
love it. See,
And
we're making it happen.
we're making
Phone's all you need really to get started.
That's right. And it worked for that one because it worked for that
Mhm.
series because it was a mockumentary, so we could really get away with it looking really like shitty quality
Right.
yeah, filming. But
Mhm.
you know, because it's her
Shitty
little
campaign, yeah.
her shitty campaign. That's right.
I love it. I love it. Okay, so just go back to dreams. I feel
Yes,
like
let's go back to
we
dreams.
sidetracked a
Let's
little
go
bit.
back to dreams. Yeah. So I mean that would that's it. Or I guess the lead of anything.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, or just
Mhm.
but okay, but by anything I mean like you
Yeah.
know just roles that
Mhm.
that inspire me. Okay, I recently watched Aaron Brockovich for like the umpteenth time because I love that movie. And
Yeah.
so it's doing something like that where there's social justice involved, or
Mhm.
a role like that
Mhm.
involves, I don't know, like a a really freaking cool lawyer
Yeah.
chick who is taking out bad guys.
Yeah.
That would be a really cool role. But
Yeah.
there's so many cool roles out there. I think also obviously not boxing myself in, you know, and just,
Yeah.
being able to put on any
Yeah.
wig. I keep going back to the wig analogy.
It's theater. Yeah. It's just
It is
it's
theater.
still in there.
It is still in there.
Masking.
But I think also just to have a long career. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Love it.
Yeah.
Do you you see, like, I have like mixed views about this as to like, do you think it's possible for us to get leads here in Canada? I just feel like it's just, I mean, it's not impossible, don't get me wrong, it's definitely possible, but I just like, again, I'm a very analytical person, and when I
Yeah.
look at all the shows
Uh-huh.
that are shot here, when I look at cast 1, 2, 3, it's always the LA guys. So like, it gets me to think like, maybe we do need to go to LA and just kind of like spend some time there and just network, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like, it's, again, it's not impossible, but it's very rare that I see like a local break into role 1, 2, or 3.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I'm just, yeah.
No, I'm also very analytical like you. Like
Yeah.
I really do research stuff like that to figure out, yeah, what are the patterns here?
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't have a solid answer for that because
Yeah.
just a part of me feels like just keep auditioning, and
Yeah.
it and and keep on the trajectory of
Mhm.
booking something, and then you book something bigger, and then you book something bigger, and then bigger, and then bigger,
Yeah.
not that it's going to go directly like that. Obviously, it's like
Yeah.
more of this kind of
It's
line.
rocky and
Yeah,
full
it's
of
ups and downs.
yeah.
Yeah. But but I think it's like it is an overall chart that I think does go like this over
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
So I don't know why I keep going like this with my hand, because I'm like going the opposite way that my
It's
hand
the
wants to
wig. The
go.
wig is up there, so you're like
That's right.
you keep going back to the wig. Go
Yeah,
up. See, even when you're not thinking about it, like you instinctively you
I
want to
just
go up. You want to go up.
I just want to go up, but I just want to wear a wig, I guess, a big old curly wig.
What about here?
Oh, ooh,
Just kidding.
I actually do have a wig that
Do you?
I have in my prop box. I have a few wigs in my
Mhm.
prop box, and
Yeah.
they are my freaking favorites.
Yes.
And I love to bring them out, and I
Yeah.
often wear them. You'll see if you like
Yeah.
see me at a
See,
holiday
this is actually what
party.
I love about girls. It's just like you guys like have like an easier time because like if we were to put a wig, sometimes like I mean I don't know for me like when I put a wig I'm like oh it doesn't quite match my face complexity. Like if I'm trying to put like blonde curly hair, I mean like with my skin tone it doesn't work.
But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's funny, and if it's fun, then it's
Yes, I guess
great.
so. Yeah, yeah. But it does look better on girls usually speaking. I don't know.
That's
The
so
wigs, yeah, I don't.
that's funny. I feel like I'm never going for like looks when I put on a wig. I'm just always going for a laugh.
For a laugh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I
But
love it.
yeah, if you see me
Yeah.
at holiday parties, I'll often wear one specific wig that just brings me a lot of joy.
Okay. I'll
It,
make sure to pay attention next
yeah.
time I see you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Be watching for the wig.
Yeah, yeah, totally,
I'll make
totally.
a wig reference.
Yeah, or just look for the person that you don't really like recognize in the crowd, and it's
Uh,
me wearing a wig.
I love it. I love it. Nice, nice, nice. Okay, before we wrap this up,
Yes.
I'd like to just end with this question. Is there anything that you're working on right now? Anything in the works that we should know?
Yes.
Acting, non-acting related, resolutions, anything that
Oh.
you want to share with us?
Okay, well, I'll get shows out of the way. So I'm working on, well, I guess there's a few things that are going to come out of an episode of Alert.
Yes.
Excuse me, sorry.
I was on that too. I love
Oh,
that.
oh my God, Ellie!
Yes.
Hell yes.
Yes,
I
I
almost
love
said
Alert.
the F-bomb, but
Yeah.
I'm trying to keep this F-bomb
Great
free.
show. I love Alert. It's good. It's a good show.
Yeah, yeah. And then there's and then I'm doing the third season of Billy the Kid this year, which is just so phenomenal. I love the freaking cast of that.
Mhm.
And then there's a show coming out, and a show. I keep saying show when it's a movie. A movie coming out. It's called The Wrong Paris, and I'm so freaking excited for it to come
The
out because
Wrong
it's
Paris?
yes, and it's
Oh my,
rom-com, and Miranda Cosgrove is in it.
oh
And
my God, I have
eh,
goosebumps.
yeah, yeah, I know. And she's so freaking nice.
Yeah,
And it's a rom-com. It's gonna be so fun.
yeah,
Also because there's a big ensemble of ladies who are so freaking fun in it and
yeah.
funny, and yeah, it's just really well written, and it's gonna be
Mm.
such a
Oh
blast.
my
So
gosh,
I'm
can't wait. Love it.
so excited to be boosting it here. But what was the other like resolution?
Yeah, if you have a resolution, anything like non-craft related that
Yeah.
you're looking forward this year that you
What am
wanna
I looking forward to this year?
working on, like, oh, you know what, I wanna get into fencing or something. I know.
Well, actually, I do need to. I am somebody who like really prioritizes
Yeah.
acting in the career, but something I have
Mm-hmm.
realized is that I do need to do other things with my life. Like I need
Mm-hmm.
to find other hobbies and find
Mm-hmm.
other just things that I love to do.
Mm-hmm.
So something I need to do this year, maybe talking about it here will help hold me accountable to it, is going to more music festivals.
Oh, I like
Yeah.
that. And
Like I,
we don't get a lot of them here. This is the problem.
yeah, I
The
know. Or just concerts in general, but I
concerts,
really want to
yeah.
go to like country specifically. Like, I love
Oh,
country music, so like
really?
country music
Oh,
festivals or like
nice.
blues, jazz festivals would be
Sick. I think
super,
like
super
they
fun.
do they I'm pretty sure they have them more like there's more of them in Washington though, isn't like Washington
Yeah.
State?
Yes, and I'm
Uh
gonna find them.
yes. Go on the hunt. Make sure to wear the wig.
Yeah. I will. Oh my gosh. Okay, now I'm excited.
Because I'll know from your story or from your picture you post on Instagram. If you're not wearing it, be like, yo,
Yo, you're not having as much fun as you
yes,
could.
you're missing out. It's not what we
We're-
agreed on.
That's right. That's not what we agreed on. Oh my God, I can just imagine because this wig is like it's big and very like Bob Dylan-esque or
Yeah.
like almost Oprah-esque, actually, I guess.
That's so
Um,
funny. I
and
love it.
and so when I go to these festivals, I need to be wearing like jewelry in it and stuff like that to
Oh
make
my God,
it,
that's so amazing.
even more
You know what? I
fun.
haven't actually been on I haven't gone to a festival in a very long time. I feel like I used to do this a lot in my
Me
20s,
neither.
like when I was like, I was like in uni and whatever, I was like doing that a lot. But I feel like ever since I had my 30s, I was just
We
more,
just got boring.
I don't know, I just, yeah, it's either that or you're like, mm,
Yeah.
you want to move on to some other things. But I do still
You,
enjoy concerts. Like, I went to, was it Above and Beyond when they were here? Or was it the other guys, Jeffrey Santarius, the guy from,
mm.
I like EDM. I love EDM.
Oh,
So
EDM.
yes, I love that.
I've
So
never been to an EDM concert, nothing.
when,
Want to go.
I mean, they don't have them a lot here, but when they do, it's usually at the Concord Pacific, whatever, near the stadium,
Yeah. Oh, yes. Okay.
that place where they shoot. Yeah,
Okay.
they
I
usually have
gotta
them
go.
there, or like obviously sometime at uh, the Rogers Arena. Is that it?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So
I've never been to a concert at either. Dang, I need to get out.
we'll make sure to get you out in 2025.
Yes, in 2025. That's my resolution. I'm getting out more.
All
Oh,
right.
and I bought a paddleboard
Oh,
last
really?
like at the tail end of the
Oh my
summer
God. You know what I want
season
to
and
do? I want to do this sometime. Just like paddleboard and bring sushi. If
oh,
this is actually such I actually want to do this. I want to, on a date,
uh-huh.
I'm gonna bring my date paddleboard and be like, hey, let's get sushi. Let's go paddleboarding. Let's have
Oh,
sushi in the middle of the water.
that sounds amazing. That
Doesn't it?
actually sounds so
It's
nice.
not bad, right?
With like some nice
I don't know. Yeah, music or
music.
like, I mean,
Just the sound, just the
yeah,
sound of the
the
waves.
waves. Yes,
Yeah. That sounds great.
that's the plan.
Specifically sushi, but also any little picnic.
Anything like any picnic, food,
Yeah.
snack you're into.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
That's not a bad idea. You heard it here first.
the great, magnificent Veronica Long, everybody. What a great honor to
Oh.
have you. Honestly, such
I
a
don't know why
blessing.
I applauded for myself. So lame.
Honestly, thank you so much for coming on the pod.
Thank you
So
so
great to have
much.
you. Hopefully, we'll have you back sometime.
What an honor. Yeah, thank
In a couple
you.
months, next year or whatever, and hopefully we'll have more to share.
Yes, and hopefully we'll have more to share. Yeah.